What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, for 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? 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 I appreciate you guys for showing up on Wednesday, February 26, 2024, year of our Lord. We got a lot that we need to go over today. I hope y'all enjoyed After Hours last night because it was absolutely an awesome show. I love my co-hosts. I love Molly and Mika and Slimmy and Q Diddy. And I love Carrie and I love Q. And I love my honorary member 2K. Shout out to 2K. I love all of my people that work with me and add value into my life. I genuinely appreciate everybody that pours into me. I love you guys. Without you, you would not have any me. And I enjoy you guys being a co-host of the show. Chat Lives really matters. Chat Lives genuinely matters. Don't worry. Today I'm going to remember to make sure that I start the show off with prayer. We're not going to have the Millionaire Derailment Show today. Shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. I appreciate you for holding me down. My dog, Rand Wilson, says, AD, DeSantis wants to eliminate property taxes. That might be something that we need to cover tomorrow. I'm not prepared for that today. And then Spencer Campbell says, AD and the Bag Chasers, God bless. If you guys are not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, if you have not got that Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. I genuinely appreciate everybody that's holding us down on the Tiege arm because if you are using any other pack, if you are using any other skincare routine, then that is unfortunate and you genuinely need to get on board. So shout out to my family, Tiege Hanley. We appreciate y'all and thank y'all for holding us down. What up to my friends in the chat? What's going on? How y'all feel? You miss me? I missed you too. I missed you too. I missed you too. Shout out to all of my Dusties. Shout out to the ops. Shout out to people that have differences of opinion. Shout out to my truck drivers. Shout out to my daycare workers. Shout out to my federal workers. Shout out to everybody that's laid off trying to figure it out. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. I guarantee you, you're going to figure it out. It's not going to miss you. Whatever it is that you're going through at this time, you're supposed to be there. I know you don't believe that. I know you think that life is over, but I tell you this, life has existed for millions of years before you ever tapped or set foot on this earth. And the world does not revolve around you. The world is going to continue to evolve and you are supposed to be in it. So play your role, do what you're supposed to do. Learn a lesson, expedite the process, and let's get to this money. That's why it's called the Millionaire Morning Show. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, let's get to it. I do want to read a super chat before we get started with the show. Bishop Cam Nelson says, morning, Anton rode a spaceship slow. Blessings. Blessings to you also, Bishop. I appreciate you for always supporting the platform and for everybody that's tapped in. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all said start with prayer. We got a lot to cover. Lord, we appreciate you. We love you. But we do. We have a lot to cover today, which includes Trump's gold card for migrants. We have to cover Tiffany Henyard. We got to talk about the budget reconciliation. Also, Byron Donalds is running for governor of Florida. Migrants, Tom Homan. We got to update the people, but bless us to be mindful that we have to get out of our feelings and we have to look at things objectively so that we can come to a conclusion how we adjust. Life, Lord, you told me that life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you adjust to it. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. Bless us to react the correct way. We got a plan, but our plan should be your plan. And bless us to react the right way. Bless us to think our way through things. Bless us to not make emotional decisions. Every day we make an emotional decision. The small things add up to the big things. Every time you leave a house when you get mad, that's an emotional decision. Every time you get mad because your kid said something that you trained them to say, that's an emotional decision. Every time your baby mama piss you off and then you want to jump off the ledge, that's an emotional decision. Every time that the men want to jump off the ledge or the women want to go ahead and run over to their side dude, that's an emotional decision. Bless our women to leave side dudes alone. Lord, you said there's somebody in the chat that got a side dude that they need to leave alone. Bless our women to leave side dudes alone. You made an emotional decision. We know that you didn't get into this relationship with him because you just liked him. You got into this relationship because you got emotionally connected. Bless her to leave him alone, Lord. Bless that man to leave that hussy alone. She don't love him. Bless him to know that she don't love him. He's just being used for the moment. She don't mean him no good, and that one in particular is gonna really do some damage if he let her get a little too close. So bless him to not ruin everything and throw it down the drain. Lord, bless us to be focused, to be on top of things. Bless us to not make emotional decisions. We love you. We appreciate you. We ask for everything in Jesus' name. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get started with the show? I'm ready to get started with the show. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, before we really deep dive into it, I see y'all. I'm going to hit y'all with the super chat shortly. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Tiffany Henyard, y'all. So Tiffany Henyard, our long time, and I'm going to really be sad. You know, I'm getting sad. You see me wiping the tears from my eyes. I'm getting sad, y'all. I'm getting sad because Tiffany Henyard, even though she's no longer going to be the mayor of Dolton, Tiffany Henyard recently released a song, said that she was going to win. But they said that Tiffany Henyard's Facebook page, which she's usually pretty active on, and I don't really know why y'all love Facebook so much. Facebook is for people that are stuck in their ways and they just want to see what the drama is, but I guess that's why she's there. Tiffany Henyard allegedly or apparently was ousted in a Democratic primary yesterday. And everybody and their mama sent me every single clip that they could find. And so my inbox was flooded with Tiffany Henyard paraphernalia. All right, Tiffany is a longtime friend of the show. Well, maybe not so much, but she is a longtime, how can I say this? Tiffany should have shut up. Honestly, Tiffany should have shut up. And I know that the job over there in Dolton don't pay a whole lot, and so she's really trying to hold on to that Thornton Township position because that's where she really get her bag. She was working two positions at the same time as though she could do one effectively. But let's get to it. Tiffany Henyard ousted as mayor of Dolton. Let's break it down.
Several suburbs are holding mayoral primary election today, including Dolton. Embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard facing a challenge. Are voters ready for a change?
Dane Placco is live with a closer look at the race. Dane?
Yeah, we're at the Diekman Elementary School here in Dolton, which today is doubling as a polling place. And as a matter of fact, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard herself voted here just about a half hour ago. Now, we've been talking to some of the Dolton residents coming and going today to vote, most of whom, in fact, all of whom told us they're ready for a change.
I think it's over. You got to do something good with the power you get if you just throw it away.
Previous mayor, she ran into some challenges. She started out really strong and, had a lot of support. But now the way the village is going, it's just time for a new direction.
Higher than a normal, usually, but yeah.
These municipal elections are generally lightly attended, but we're told turnout has been very heavy here in Dolton, which has become the center of national attention because of its controversial and flamboyant Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who's also the subject of an ongoing federal investigation into spending, hiring, and contracts. An investigation by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot found the village millions of dollars in the red, with hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card expenditures that just could not be explained. Henyard was actually voted out of office a couple years ago in a recall election, but those results were overturned in court. Now, over the last few months, the village government has descended into chaos, with meetings being canceled or disrupted and little or no legislation getting approved. And
So, I did interview Jason House. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up before we deep dive too heavy into this, because I got some thoughts. Obviously, I have some thoughts. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I did interview Jason House, and this was in the midst of everything that was going on with Tiffany Henyard. See if I can find that video. Who is now the new mayor of Thornton Town, or is going to be the mayor of Dolton, Illinois. I remember interviewing Jason House. I actually was working from home that day. Let me see if I can pull that up. We had an interesting conversation. Mr. Jason House, what is going on, my friend?
Good morning. I think it's afternoon in your time, but it's morning in our time. So I'm going to say good morning / afternoon.
Yeah, you an hour behind, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So how's it going? How's everything been?
Well, I don't remember the specific ordinance, but she said, okay, well, you guys can put this on there and go on and vote on it. Then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. That let me know the law doesn't matter to you anymore. You feel that you're bigger than the law. You're unable, and we really have a problem. And it's been a challenge ever since.
What about supporters that she still has? Do you think that there's a supporter or a base that's in Dolton and in the surrounding areas that still support her? And why do you think that she still has that level of support?
Well, good. And this kind of ties back into the last question and a point that I didn't bring up. But yes, I'm sure there are supporters. And you can't be in this position without helping some people. So for me to come in here and say that she's done all bad would be an exaggeration, or it would just be kind of, me being on the other side of the coin. The reality is there have been some people that she's helped. There are some people that she's grown up with and she's known for years that are going to support. So there is a level of support here in Dolton for her. I think the overall sentiment is not positive or not favorable. And that's the reason that she's trying to mute or limit everybody's mute their conversation. You'll see in the board meetings, if I try to speak, she wants to direct me on how to speak, what to say, how I'm supposed to say it. And that's for a board member who's rightfully entitled to ask questions.
So Jason House did appear on the program. I forgot what the date is that this actually happened. Let me actually find the date. This was over a year ago. We had Jason House on here, and he spoke his piece, and he communicated effectively. I thought that he was a really great, effective communicator. I looked in his background. He's a married guy. He seems like he's apt to do the job. I actually asked him during this interview, if he was going to run for mayor of Dolton and he said that he was undecided. Obviously, we know that he ran for mayor of Dolton, and that's what wound up happening. Anyways, let's move back over to Tiffany Henyard and what happened and her saying that she never really had a chance.
In the meantime, very different scene at what was supposed to be Tiffany Henyard's watch party.
WGN's Ben Bradley has her message following the defeat.
Tiffany Henyard was a no-show for her election night party after it became clear that she would lose in a landslide. I did speak with her by phone. She said she accepts the election results. She said, "The people have spoken, and God must have a different plan for me." It was a far cry from the tone that she struck earlier in the day when she insisted that she would win in spectacular fashion.
Hey, y'all.
Hello. Hey, Tiffany.
How y'all doing?
Tiffany Henyard defiant on this decision day in Dolton. Is there anything in hindsight that you would have done differently over these last 4 years?
Yeah, I would have told on the trustees sooner.
The trustees she refers to are her former allies. 4 years ago, they ran as a slate, with Henyard promising transparency and accountability. Instead,
Mayor, we've left you voicemail messages. We had to go to the Illinois Attorney General's office to get you to turn over documents.
residents got a self-proclaimed super mayor who spent tax dollars on travel, self-promotion, and a questionable cancer charity. All of it exposed by WGN Investigates, and now the subject of an ongoing FBI investigation. But why should residents pay for you to stay at the Four Seasons and a $10,000 bill in New York?
We're talking about
first-class
the election today, so you guys want some good
Those issues are on the ballot,
We've been talking about the same thing for 4 years. I've answered every question possible.
You've never answered that.
So if you guys want to talk about me winning this seat this evening, let's go. I'll sit down with any of you, but I want some positive press for a change.
Local Democrats refused to slate Henyard for her other job, Thornton Township Supervisor, but she told me that she plans to run as a write-in candidate. That election is April 1st. She also said she's not ruling out a run for higher office, but wouldn't speculate about what that could be. She could, though, have bigger problems if the ongoing FBI investigation leads to charges.
So, Tiffany Henyard, in my opinion, in my honest to goodness opinion, is a reflection of the community that she served. She really is a reflection of the community that she served. She's crazy, disillusioned. I don't think that she even believes, like the fact that she genuinely believed that she was going to win, instead of preparing herself and trying to seek jobs and opportunities elsewhere. I don't think that it's going to end well for her personally. Now, I'm not advocating for anybody to suffer, but what I am saying is that the worst thing that she could have ever done probably is run for mayor of Dolton and Thornton Township Supervisor. Because while it was short-lived and it seemed like it was something that was best for her, it basically exposed her incompetence, which is what we see a lot from Black liberal Democrats that are running Democrat-led cities. It's just the truth. And although I think that Jason House is a really good guy and he's probably on the Democratic side, the best person for the job, the question that you have to first ask yourself, because there's two things that we need to hit on with this whole Tiffany Henyard situation in hindsight, right? Because now that she's basically been replaced and gotten rid of this small town, it's a couple different learned lessons. Every time that you go into a job and you do something, or you go through a sprint process, or you do a deliverable, or you go through the agile process and you're doing a recap of what you did right and what you did wrong. That's the thing that I think is missing a lot of times in the community, in our election process, and everything that we do. We don't do recaps. We don't figure out exactly where we went wrong and how we got into this place in the first place. And I applaud you guys over in Dolton for actually going up and showing to the polls and educating yourself and familiarizing yourself with who's on the ballot and then voting accordingly. But the question that I then ask myself again is, what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn from a Tiffany Henyard perspective? What did she learn? What did the people learn? I'm not sure if they really learned anything. The first sign or the first clue that they probably didn't learn much is the fact that the election is decided in the primary. Oh, y'all wanted me to just talk about Tiffany Henyard, and oh my God, I'm so glad that she out. We've done it 1,000 different times. We've done 1,000 different videos. We've made a lot of money on Tiffany Henyard. But think about this for a second. If we start to break it down and we start to look at our learned lessons, the election was already decided in the primaries, meaning that the people in Dolton are still on the Democratic plantation. And if you're not running as a Democrat, then you 100% have no chance in winning in Dolton and probably in Thornton Township. It is blue through and through, which tells me that you guys have not learned your lesson. You voted because you didn't like her. You didn't vote because you were familiarizing yourself on what's best for the city. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think that anything in Dolton changes. You guys just don't have the spotlight on you to highlight how bad it really is over in Thornton Township. Listen, think about it for a minute. Okay, so you don't have her spending all of the taxpayer dollars and building ice rinks and all of that stuff. So now, what happens? Was the platform to run to replace Tiffany Henyard, or was the platform what's best for Thornton Township and Dolton residences? The fact that you guys don't even have a election to where it's determined in the primary and whoever wins the primary is the one that's going to win the election, because you don't even really have any opposition on the Republican side, and you're not even looking at or considering somebody that have different ideas. And don't get me wrong, this is not an indictment against Jason House, because I think that Jason House is a really good guy, and I think that he probably is best for the job at this time. However, the fact that y'all don't even think about the possibility of having somebody or an alternative that can improve your city is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Over in Thornton Township, they want Tiffany out. But who is it that they want to replace him with? If you didn't learn anything from Chicago, from replacing Lori Lightfoot, who was horrible and is a DEI hire, to getting Brandon Johnson, if y'all didn't learn from them, then I absolutely feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. If the only reason that you guys showed up and you have no viable candidates that is willing to do the job is because you didn't like the other person, which you still should show up, it's like you got one right, but you still got one wrong. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we did in this election was remove the spotlight from Dolton, and now we don't have to report on them anymore. I don't have to travel to Dolton. I never have to think about it. I was probably never going to go over there in the first place, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll go and kick it with Jason House one day. Who knows? But if you think about all of the people and the trustees that were in Dolton, all of those were the same people that backed her before she got into office in the first place. Tiffany Henyard, what did you learn? What did you learn? Apparently nothing. Hopefully you learned something. What did you learn? It's not good to be loud, especially when you're out here doing stuff that you're not supposed to do. Some of you guys are not built for the jobs that you're trying to advocate for. No learning on the jobs. We need people that actually have business experience, and no more diversity, equity, and inclusion and voting for people and just because they're a black woman. We need merit-based people inside of these positions, and maybe she'll start a podcast and people will tune into that. But I think that Tiffany Henyard has bigger problems to worry about, probably. And she's talking about she's going to run for a bigger position. What's she going to run for, governor? She's going to run for mayor of Chicago? Anyways. So, ladies and gentlemen, good riddance. I actually think that this is a sad thing because I no longer will be able to report on Tiffany Henyard. That bothers me because it takes content away from me. It was incredibly entertaining at the time, but we have to bid Tiffany Henyard adieu. Shout out to Tiff. You provided phenomenal content, but your time is done here. All right. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and cash apps, and then we're going to go from there. Shout out to Manuel AG says, good morning, Anton. Did you see the video of the Venezuelan president saying Biden told him to send TDA gang members to the U.S.? What are y'all talking about? Listen. Y'all just going to have to send it to me. This is what I need y'all to do from now on. When you get something that you see makes sense, email it to me and I'll check it out. No, I am not familiar with the Venezuelan president saying Biden told him to send TDA gang members to the United States of America. I don't even believe it until I actually see it. I got to see the video. Ooh, look at Zeroyce. 008 says there will always be another clown to follow Anton. Wow. That's the type of subscribers that I got over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. Wow, we got grown men that subscribe to the channel in order to be able to say that. Don't do that. Don't be like that, big dog. Don't be like that, big dog. We love you. We love you. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. See? You see? See, Zeroyce? See, Zeroyce? You see what happens? Let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Zeroyce, that is, I know that you are a supporter of the platform. But let me teach y'all a lesson really quickly before I read the rest of the super chats. You actually love me. Genuinely. You genuinely love me. You're saying there will always be another clown to follow, comma, Anton, or you need to structure your sentences differently. Let me show you. You can say, hey, Anton, after Tiffany Henyard, there's always, hey, Anton, comma, after Tiffany Henyard, there will always be another clown to follow. See, if I'm just reading that and I didn't know who you were and I didn't know that you was really a person that rocked with the platform, I would be bothered because the way that you framed it, you're acting like there's another clown to follow me. But the fact that you didn't add the punctuation, you didn't structure your sentence, this is the reason why we have to be careful of how we type, and we have to type in complete sentences. We can't type like we're schoolgirls. You know what I'm saying? We can't type like we're schoolgirls. You got to put the comma in there, and then we know that you're speaking about the story and not about me. This is the perfect example of why we have to switch it over. Zeroyce is not a hater. Zeroyce is a person that absolutely support the platform, but I have to teach y'all and I have to use it as an example to illustrate a point. It is important for us to learn how to communicate effectively even when we're typing. It matters. It matters. It matters. Crazy, right? Shout out to Manuel AG. I appreciate you. Larissa Warren says, good morning, AD, comma. Got you. Hubby told me to invest my entire profit sharing check in the stock market. Listened, done. Listen to your man. Listen to your man. Ain't nothing you can buy out here that's worth nothing. Shout out to Dolores for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Dolores says, I appreciate you for your honesty. I got to be real with the people. Tiffany got Kamala Harris. Tiffany got Kamala Harris. I don't know if that's used in a proper context. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says her political career is over, but luckily for her, she can pick up a job as one of my baby mamas because we know she didn't save any of that money. Well, I heard she got a man though. There will be others that provide context for you, AD. I appreciate you, Elizabeth. Let me also acknowledge the people on Cash App also because I never asked for it, but I always like to show love. Just wanted to say I love you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to Jamaica H. I appreciate you for Jamaica H for holding me down. Jamaica H also says, appreciate your consistency. It's inspirational. Thank you. And LaShawn, shout out to LaShawn, says hope her twin Jasmine is the next to go. You think Jasmine Crockett is the next to go? They do got the same look, don't they? With the baby hairs and the scoop over the front. Tiffany Henyard, Jasmine Crockett, all of them, they all got that same look. They all got the same look. They look the same. That's the truth. They all have the same look. That's a fact. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's move on to national news, okay? On the national side, the House passes a budget and considers no taxes on tips, Social Security, and overtime. Let's take a look. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Connor, thanks. Now 6:45, we turn to Washington, where the House of Representatives just took a big step forward in implementing President Donald Trump's agenda. Scripps News Group's Joe St. George live with us this morning in Washington. Now, Joe, we know this passed by, well, just a couple of votes. So what is in this plan and what comes next?
And Virginia's congressional delegation, North Carolina's congressional delegation, they voted just the way you thought they might. Republicans voting for this thing, Democrats not voting for this thing. In the end, just really a handful, a couple of Republicans voted against this resolution for differing reasons. It was a big victory, though, for Speaker Mike Johnson, President Donald Trump, and the president's pursuit of what he likes to call one big, beautiful bill. Remember, when it comes to the big ticket items in President Trump's agenda, what he campaigned on, limiting Social Security taxes, no taxes on tips for service workers, building that big wall on the southern border. Those are things he needs Congress for. He can't sign an executive order to make those things happen. So he needs the funding in many cases from Congress. They control the purse strings. And even though Republicans control the House and the Senate, passing a big bill can be difficult. Remember, the president is choosing this one big, beautiful path. We're not going to get a tax bill and an immigration bill and an energy bill. We're going to get one big bill. And now we know what the parameters of that bill will be based off this vote last night. $2 trillion in spending cuts. That could get messy. You have some who are worried about Medicaid being touched, although Speaker Mike Johnson has indicated there was nothing in the bill yesterday that would suggest Medicaid is going to be changing anytime soon. A lot of people watching us right now in Virginia, North Carolina, no doubt rely on or know somebody on Medicaid. So we'll be following that story very, very closely. This calls for close to $5 trillion in tax cuts and new spending for things like the border wall. So what happens next? Again, this was just a first step. Blaine, you described it perfectly. Step one. Now the hard part begins for Republicans, having to come up with the actual policies that fall in line with those numbers and metrics. How much are these tax cuts? What government program gets cut? We don't expect a bill to make its way to President Trump's desk until April or May. This will be the big story of the spring in Washington, Blaine.
Talking about money, too, Joe, we know that today's the deadline a federal judge gave the White House to pay the foreign aid funds related to the USAID deal. This has been something we've been watching for, what, almost a month now? So bring us up to speed. What's the latest in all this?
You know, Blaine, you and I could do a 30-minute show on all the court battles and challenges that are happening right now involving the Trump administration. This is involving USAID, the international agency that funds projects all over the world. It was one of the first to essentially be gutted or attempt to be gutted by the Trump administration. A federal district judge has ruled that this abrupt cancellation, abrupt firing of grants in many cases has caused damage, irreparable harm. He's ordered the Trump administration to begin paying out grant recipients, again, giving them the deadline of the end of today. Obviously, the Trump administration has a different view of what the USAID should be doing. We expect more legal challenges on this front. The big question, Blaine, by the end of today, does the Trump administration comply with a federal district judge order? That will be the big story that we'll be watching regarding this case today in D.C. Blaine?
So I'll be following that, and obviously we'll cover that tomorrow on the Millionaire Morning Show as we get more information and we get a determination of how these funds and grants are supposed to be issued based off of what Trump versus this federal judge, or the Trump administration versus this federal judge is saying. However, I want to focus more on this House resolution, right? Because I believe that this is quite possibly historic in the amount of things that has happened since Trump has taken office, and Trump has only been in office for a little over a month. I mean, first of all, I've never seen a politician personally. Me personally, I've never seen a politician ever in my entire life, ever, get this much done this fast in office. On top of that, I've never seen a politician ever in my life. Not one time have I, in my lifetime since I've been voting, I've never seen a politician ever actually try to deliver on the things that they promise to the American people? We hear this all the time. We hear politicians say, yeah, we're going to do this, or yeah, we're going to work on this, and so on and so forth. We don't actually see them implement it, though. This is crazy. And for a lot of people, especially for liberals, it could be scary, because a lot of times we hear from politicians when Biden got in office, when Kamala Harris was right behind him, what do we get? Biden kind of disappeared. He would show up here and there. He would be dancing on the White House lawn with Billy Porter. We still haven't figured out who had that cocaine inside of the White House. I seen that story come up in my email today, right? We seen Biden back and forth to Camp David. Nancy Pelosi, they bullied him out of office when he stopped running for president of the United States of America for a second term. They then forgot about him. They had a "We Love You, Joe" farewell party at the Democratic National Convention, and we didn't hear anything else from him until he was wearing a Trump hat, right? A lot of people believe that Barack Obama was the one that was actually controlling the strings and pulling heists inside of the White House itself. But we did hear from Joe Biden when he said that he was going to pardon his son and Dr. Fauci and all of these other people. Trump has literally made himself available and has been visible every single day. Every single day. And the one thing that I say on a regular basis that you cannot say about Trump is that he is not doing exactly to the T of what he said that he was going to do. Now, the problem with this whole conversation, though, is Democrats, because I do not understand you guys. I am so confused about Democrats. You guys baffle me crazy. You genuinely baffle me. Now, why do Democrats baffle me so much? Because no tax on tips, for example, is one of the talking points that Kamala Harris actually stole from Donald Trump during the presidential campaigning season. Absolutely, she stole it from Donald Trump. Donald Trump said no tax on tips, and then she tried to pawn it off as it was her own original idea. And that was before she actually had any policies on her website. No taxes on Social Security. This is a thing that Bernie Sanders regularly campaigns for. We need to make sure that we take care of the American people and have a war against billionaires. That's what he says on a regular people. Now, they used to say a war against millionaires, but now they say a war against billionaires because they're now millionaires and they can't have a war against themselves. No tax on overtime. It would literally spur and incentivize people to get popping. Do you know how productive people would become? I think that more people would be going to hourly instead of salary. People would want to work hourly more than salary. It used to be where you would want to become salary because it means that you're moving up and you get a higher job title and, you get a little bit more freedom. I know people like, no tax on overtime. That's a possibility, a House resolution. We can get that through. They don't want to give Trump no credit. They don't want to give Trump any credit. Do you know how many people would be willing? Hey, ladies, you want a man, a high-value man? You want you a Henry? You want you a Henry? A guy that's going to get there. He trying to work. You want to get him out the house. You want to incentivize him. Tell him no tax on overtime and see how much he going to get. No tax on overtime. They're going to be looking to knock that 40 out ASAP, and they're going to be living at work. Living at work. If you want to actually get money back in the hands of the American people and at the same time spur economic activity, people making more money, affordability crisis, selling more homes, getting people back to work and all of this stuff, making the United States of America more competitive, making more products, you got to do a couple different things. A, you have to reduce the fraud and you have to reduce the amount of money and the reliance on the federal government for us to be able to feed ourselves. It's no reason why we should have this much bloat inside of the federal government. It should not be the number 15 highest employer in the world. That is nonsense. And the fact that y'all actually went for it from the Biden administration, acting like he was actually creating jobs when in reality they was just giving it out on taxpayer dime is crazy to me. The second thing that you have to do is you have to incentivize people to want to work. because there's a lot of people that think that they're too good for these jobs. But I guarantee you, if you tell them no tax on overtime, they're going to be sweeping, mopping, doing anything that they can. Them janitorial jobs, the ones that the migrants is doing, y'all going to want them. Listen, people going to be fighting over jobs at fast food restaurants. No tax on overtime? Y'all not going to want to reduce and go down to a 4-day work week no more. Y'all think y'all in the UK. You think you're European. You think it's tea time, don't you? No, all of that go out the window. Wait a minute. What? Time and a half? Double time? Triple time? On holidays, especially if I'm a plant worker? Where them cars at? Sign me up, boss. Gonna be it. All of a sudden, your back ain't hurting no more. Your feet ain't hurting. Yeah, you're gonna want to get all of that money. I think it's a phenomenal idea. No tax on tips. Get the people some money. Get the people to be able the ability to be able to earn it back. Help them. Help the people. And the Democrats had the golden opportunity to have a bipartisan agreement. And you know what they did? They gave a big FU to the American people. They weren't even interested in having a conversation about what would be best for your family, because the only thing they care about is voting against the Trump administration. A golden opportunity to show people, hey, listen, we shouldn't be divided. We need to come together. We need to figure it out. We need to have some good gestures. In order to really be able to be effective as a Democrat today, you have to have diplomacy. And I say this word all the time. You have to extend your hand. You got to scratch some backs. You got to shake some hands. A lot of y'all Democrats is in office. You just stealing money. You just in there getting a paycheck so that you can go on the Breakfast Club and spew hate. They not actually doing nothing. The one opportunity where it shouldn't be any debate whatsoever, y'all keep saying, oh, we need to extend more breaks over to the American people. Okay, well, this is your opportunity to do so. Get on board so we can pass a resolution, and then we can start building the framework of what, because it's going to pass anyway. We control all three branches of government. It's going to get through anyway. So come to the table. Let's negotiate. Let's talk about it. What do you need? How can we help the people? This is something that can be beneficial to everybody. Missed another opportunity. Missed it again. Another L. Another L. Who in the chat? Give me one person in the chat right now that would actually be against no taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security, and no taxes on overtime. Give me anybody. Anybody in the chat right now. All you got to just let me know. Somebody in the chat tell me. One person. Just give me one person. Anybody in the chat tell me. Don't matter if you're liberal, don't matter if you're conservative. Tell me if you're against no taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. Then that means that they've lost the ear of the American people, because I don't know why anybody would vote for a Democrat considering. It's crazy. It's crazy. They hate you. They hate you. They hate you. They hate everything that you stand for. And all they want is to continue to sit on their cushy behinds, take vacations, and get richer off of finessing the American people. They hate you. Your Democrat plantation hates you. Crazy, right? Absolutely insane. Let me read some of these super chats. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that we even considering that the Democrats want y'all to win when they don't even participate in what's best for you. Had the perfect opportunity, and you race hustlers and DEI people still voted against your own best interest. So does this mean Tiffany Henyard is 25-1 now? It does. It absolutely does. Stockton says, do you think companies will cut overtime due to the fact of jealousy? Companies care about their bottom line, and if they can get more productivity out of you, if you're adding value and doing what you need to do, you know what I know that companies are suffering with? Finding good help and getting people that want to work. Companies are not looking to get rid of anything. They're looking to create by making sure that you're more productive. People don't want to work. They only want to do what they want. They want to do certain jobs. They don't want to do all the jobs. Oh, don't think for 1 second that it's not jobs out there, because people keep saying, oh, the job market. No, it's the jobs that you don't want to do. That's the problem. You want to go and sit in your cubicle and with your African-American studies degree and your underwater basket weaving degree and act like you working on a project for the federal government. No, that's not happening no more. That's not happening no more. Taurian says, hey, great day, AD, all of the bag chasers. How do you suppose men are running households while having different political views from their women? Men are not running households while having different political views from their women at all. And it's better to sleep on your roof than to deal with a quarrelsome woman. A lot of people are divided inside of their households. I'm telling you that they are not running their households, and that's why you have so many people saying that they want partners. They don't want husbands. They don't want leaders. Daniel Joseph said, if I'm not mistaken, wouldn't no taxes on overtime mean employers don't pay that portion on payroll tax as well? I'm assuming that's correct. Shout out to us, a hard pill to swallow. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down. Derek Adams says, hey, D, what's your thoughts on Governor DeSantis trying to get rid of property taxes? I haven't seen it yet, so I'm definitely going to look into it and see if I can include it into the show tomorrow. Rich Steve in the building says, AD, get me more interested in the politics daily, because it all comes back down to the money. It all comes back down to the money. It's a hard pill to swallow says, Jesus is Lord. MAGA, shout out to you. CEO First says, Jasmine is cuter. Y'all still got boxelitis, huh? Wyatt B says, how do Nancy Pelosi earn $175K a year, but her net worth is $200 million, but vote against anything that puts money in the American people's pocket? We'll see. Democrats, I'll pass, says it's a hard pill to swallow. P. Shank says, good morning, Anton and the Millionaire Morning Show. What's up, P. Shank? Also, Ray Live says, I'm 20 years old. I already work a lot of overtime, and that bill would definitely help me. I appreciate you helping me to learn this stuff while I'm young. Absolutely, Ray Live, and congratulations to you, my friend. I appreciate you for tapping into the Patreon. Also in the Millionaire Morning Show, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tanane, shout out to Tanane, says, Anton, windows need help with bags, advice too. Shout out to you, Miss Heard. I appreciate you. Tanane, I appreciate you for looking out for me. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. Make sure you continue to tap in. Make sure you tapped into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, y'all, let's pivot. Let's talk about the gold card. Y'all heard about the gold card? Y'all heard about the gold card? Trump is proposing a new gold card. Your ability to get into the United States of America, the bag just went up. The price tag just went up. Let's explore it. This is Trump talking about creating a gold card instead of a green card, or adding a gold card in addition to the green card for people to be able to pay their way to the tune of about $5 million to expedite the process to become legal citizens of the United States of America. With some additional caveats. Check it out.
2 million federal employees right now. By the end of your term, what do you expect that number to be? What would you like that number to be?
Well, it'll be lower, but I can't tell you. Everybody knows I ran on downsizing government, but making government better. I ran on tariffs and making our country rich, and that's what's going to do. We're going to be doing something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before, anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks, Howard? Do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Sure. I think that this is a phenomenal idea, personally. Now you know that raging liberals and rhinos, Republicans in name only, is going to be complaining about it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Why would we charge people? Who will be against this? If you want to expedite your entry into the United States of America, and you want to create jobs, and you actually want to take advantage of the American economy and boost your business and become more successful, if you want to sponsor somebody that you think would add value into your company and you need to get them to be an American citizen, it's going to cost. 5 M's, baby. $5 million.
Are there any requirements for that gold card? Do you have to invest a certain amount of money in this country in order to qualify for that gold card?
Yeah, exactly.
So the EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low-priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government. They'll have to go through vetting, of course. We're going to make sure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. They can come to America. The president can give them a green card, and they can invest in America, and we can use that money to reduce our deficit. Why do we give out lotteries of green cards? Why do we give out EB-5 for green cards? The President of the United States understands that the right answer is, why don't we eliminate the deficit of the United States of America instead?
Trump's entire objective right now is to spur economic activity inside of the United States of America and reduce the federal deficit. Everything he's doing is literally to make sure that America gets paid back for all of the things that they've done for the world. And while we're on top, if this is the greatest country in the world, I actually seen somebody in the chat and they say, well, Dubai already does it. Dubai already has a gold card. What I've learned in my lifetime in business and corporate America and UX, UI, so on and so forth, is you take the best ideas from around the world and you do not have to reinvent the wheel. The only thing you have to do is modify it according to what your standards are of where you at. There's 1,000 different great ideas, and you just need to literally need to remix it and make it available for yourself and for your own citizens. 100%. 1,000%. There are countries, for all of you that are going to complain about it, like you got some friends that got $5 million anyway. There are countries all across the world that charge you, and you have to meet an expectation in order to be a citizen inside of their country. Even countries that aren't that great. Even countries that aren't that great, but they got great beaches. They got great weather. They not that great. They citizens is poor. If you want to come in and you want to live there and you want to apply for citizenship, there's a barrier to entry. You got to have so much inside of your bank account. You have to have so much in assets. You have to pay your way into it. You can only be there for a certain amount of time. How many people are you bringing with you? Are you a family person? They go through your background and they vet to make sure that you're not a criminal. They have standards, higher standards than we've had previously inside of the United States of America. If you want to go and live in some of the richest countries, if you want to go over here, you can't even buy homes in certain places if you are not from there or you do not have permission from their government to do so. You can't invest in what they got. You're going to have to bring the money. For decades, if you wanted to create jobs or start a business, if you wanted to do business in China for decades, you were forced as an American company to invest in their economy, and you had to allow for another company in China that was subsidized by the government to be able to invest and take a 50% stake in your company. All the automakers had to do it. That's why it was so transformational when Tesla wound up creating a plant there right? When Tesla created a Tesla factory there and they were selling cars there, and it was the first time, and this is how you know Elon Musk is a better businessman than everybody else, and it's good to have Tony Stark on our team than against us, because it was the first automaker and the first business that was able to do business in China without having to actually give a 50% stake to another company. And then they would steal your proprietary technology and compete against you. Almost every country in the world requires for you to pay your way. Now, if you want to become an American citizen and you want to expedite the process, which this doesn't replace the green card, but a gold card, which also requires for you to create so many jobs or whatever, so on and so forth. For the ballers, yeah, you're a baller. Let me see you get that. You got that gold card, dog? Nah, you got the gold card. Yeah. That's going to be the new play. For all of my passport bros, $40 ain't going to cut it no more. You want to be the king? You over here in the Dominican Republic? You got you a lady boy over in Thailand? You want to be top dog? You want to be Andrew Tate? Yeah, I got that gold card. Yeah, check out this gold card over here. Girl, he got a Trump gold card to the U.S. He got a Trump gold card. You know how much that costs us, Fab Hams? In this economy, this got a gold card. He over here and girl. He got a gold card. What you talking about? He got sitting over there. Over there section popping them bottles. Forget them bottles. That dude over there, he got change. He got a gold card. He got a motherfucking gold card. You know he's sponsoring. It's going to be the new standard. No, Cybertrucks ain't going to cut it no more. Cuban links ain't going to cut it no more. Lambos, that ain't going to cut it no more. Girl, you got a gold card. Amex Platinum, all of that nonsense. Sapphire Reserve. Girl, you got a gold card.
The gold card, well, millions, but the gold card will bring in with it people that create jobs.
You know what I'm saying?
Very high-level people. I think companies will pay to get people in. For instance, you today graduate from the Wharton School of Finance,
I didn't curse, I whispered. You got a gold card.
Harvard or Stanford or any college, and nobody knows if you can even go to work for a company. So Apple and all these companies that want to get people to be working for them will be able to buy a card, and for the people that are number one in their.
Look at Ken. Look at this. Ken says so far the border and taxes is the only thing impressive. Honestly, it's only been 40 days. How much you want? No, actually, it's only been what? 27, 28 days? I'm sorry, 37, 38 days that Trump has been in office? What more do you want from him? So far, the border and taxes is the only thing that's impressive, honestly. He's done more in 40 days than the previous president did for his entire administration. What do you mean, so far? That's pretty freaking good, bro. That's pretty impressive. I don't know what more you want. Good God.
Class at top schools. I see that as one of the things, but generally speaking, it'll be people with money and people that create jobs, and they won't have to pay any tax on income outside of the United States, which they're not paying right now. They're not citizens, but they'll have to pay if they create jobs in the United States. They'll pay full taxes like everybody else. So you're getting big taxpayers, big job producers, and we'll be able to sell maybe 1 million of these cards, maybe more than that. And if you add up the numbers, they're pretty good. As an example, 1 million cards would be worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion.
Wow.
And if you sell 10 million of the cards, that's a total of $50 trillion. Well, we have 35 trillion in debt. That'd be nice. So we'll see. But it could be great. Maybe it will be
Is it that many people that's I know it's a lot of millionaires in the world. You got to remember, we have 9 billion people in the world? How many people we got in the world?
Today, there are around 7.8 billion people living in the world.
Okay, so we got 8. I got you. We got 8 billion, but that's Apple Intelligence. I've been using Apple Intelligence a lot lately. So we got over 8 billion people in the world. Almost 8 billion people in this world. How bad you want in?
Fantastic. We have it all worked out from the legal standpoint. It's totally legal to do. Hasn't been done before. It's been done in many different forms. We give them away. Why should we give them away? We shouldn't give them away. And I think it's something very exciting. I think it's potentially just something that we're all very excited about. So it's a gold card. It's somewhat like a green card, but at a higher level of sophistication. It's a road to citizenship for people. And essentially people of wealth or people of great talent, where people of wealth pay for those people of talent to get in, meaning companies will pay for people to get in and to have long-term status in the country. And I think it's something we're very, very happy about. Would you have anything to say about that?
Well, many other countries, by the way, do this, including, of course, your 51st state does that.
And the money's earmarked for
I didn't even know that Canada charges you. Let me see. Does Canada charge you to become a citizen? Application fee for becoming a Canadian citizen. This price is only the application fee and does not include biometrics, tests, lawyer fees. In some rare cases, you can have fees waived. I didn't even know Canada charged you to become a citizen of their country. That's pretty interesting. Like, why would people pay? And they called it a 51st state. 51st state. Wouldn't y'all want to become citizens of the United States of America by default and becoming a 51st state of America? Shout out to Canada. We need all of those resources. Let's continue.
Deficit reduction?
It may be earmarked for deficit, but it actually could be more money than that. I mean, if you did 10 million, you'd have $15 trillion left over. But generally, it's going to be paid down debt, yes.
Do you need Congress for this? Do you think you need to
No, we
pass
don't
a
need
law?
Congress, no. Because we're not doing citizenship, we're doing the card.
I see.
Yeah, I think that is interesting. But you got to have a couple different things that you do in order to make this successful personally. And I think that he's executing on it perfectly. One of the things that you have to do is that you have to make it valuable enough for people to do it the right way. And you got to get people out of here that's not supposed to be here. It's one of the reasons why they want to get these deportation numbers up of people that are here illegally. So while y'all crying on TikTok, Trump is going to be hunting you down to make sure that you get up out of here. While you crying on TikTok, Trump is going to be hunting you down to get you up out of here. I didn't even put that as gold in the back on purpose. That just so happened to be me changing it. But anyways, yeah, you got to get the people up out of here, and you got to continue to increase the value of what it takes to be a citizen. I'll stay on top of this. I think that this was the most interesting news yesterday. More interesting than Tiffany Henyard. More interesting than the no tax on overtime and all of that stuff. This gold card stuff, yeah, girl, you gotta go. You got a gold card. Gold card, gold section, gold everything. Gold all of my chains. Gold all of my rings. Gold all of my watch. Don't believe me, just watch. I can't say that on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I can read super chats. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Dre with the K says, I work 2 jobs, working over 100 hours a week. No taxes on overtime will have me keeping most of my money. You know what people can do with that? You know what their portfolio will look like if they're able to do that? Krista Jackson says, today I turned 25, so thankful to God for another year, getting our 3rd semi-truck next week. With the goal to add 3 trucks in 2025. Finished our business plan for SBA funding to help this goal. Highway V Trucking is hiring. #. Shout out to Highway V Trucking and Krista. Krista, Happy birthday. Congratulations. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with us over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. No tax on overtime. That's an extra $250. I think it's going to be way more than that, big dog. Because the way people are going to be working on that, Totally About None says, what up, AD? You motivate me to go back to school for cybersecurity. I don't care how long it takes. Even seeing you obtain your degree in 8 years. Coaching call coming soon. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, Totally. I appreciate you. Cynthia Haynes says, them dirty Democrats are finally showing their true blue colors. They really don't like us. The average gamer in the building, I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Eric Wolf Harris says, $5 million for gold card to help American economy. Democrats crying, Orange Man crying. Orange Man trying to enrich his billionaire friends. That's what they crying about. Rock said, Anton, this seems like an incentive to prevent future admins from opening up the border again. I agree. Everybody need to come over here legally. Anton, that box better be golden, says ECM Real Sub TV. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. Trump said day one, prices will go down. They still haven't. That's what we want more. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Elon Musk gonna buy one? We don't know. Maybe. Green card, gold card, black card. What's in your wallet? Passport bros, about to get them some gold. We want to see who the real ballers are. First Gulf of America now to 51st state. I love it. The Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, says most interesting thing yesterday was Luka. Interesting. That's what you got? Okay, all right. Whiskey Pierre says Anton, shalom and blessings. OT means stock money. And we're going to be running it up. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to turn it to purple because y'all been purple pink because y'all been in y'all femininity today, all right? Let me continue on. Tom Holman, let's get to illegals real quick. We need an update on how Tom feels about what's going on with illegals and what's going on with the migrant crisis. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
We are coming. And he joins us right now with reaction to all of this. The doxing thing upsets me the most because between tipping off various groups about ICE raids in advance, it takes away the element of surprise. That puts agents' lives in jeopardy. Now they're doxing them. What are they saying? Go to this guy's house and kill this guy? It sounds like a threat to me. And what will the reaction be?
Well, it's under investigation right now. Matter of fact, I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the Department of Justice. I think that's crossing the line of impediment. And I hope the Department of Justice agrees with me so we find out who's doing it. Hopefully we can prosecute them and put them in jail. Look,
I believe that when they find out who it is that's releasing information about the agents' homes, listen. I don't even believe in doxing at all. At all. You should never put somebody else's address information out online and try to make it available for somebody else to be able to find out where somebody lives. That's crazy. You're basically a terrorist at this point. They've went from releasing information to illegal migrants to let them know when the raids are happening. They saying that it could be happening in the FBI, but it's definitely happening within our government infrastructure, which means that we got traitors, ops, treasonous people that's inside of our government. Now they're releasing information on ICE agents and where they live. That is a terrorist. That is literally a terrorist. That person needs to be arrested, waterboarded, and sent to Guantanamo Bay. I can't even believe that we have this happening inside of our federal government. We have people releasing police officers, ICE agents, Border Patrol's information online and releasing their addresses for people to do something bad to them. That is a terrorist on American soil.
I know about doxing, Sean. I got Governor Youngkin has assigned a state trooper to my home 24/7. I have a marked car outside my door right now. I got a security detail. The left has lost their minds. It's all of a sudden the ones who enforce the law, the bad guys, the one who break the law, the victims. We're not going to let them slow us down. We're not going to be bullied. We're not going to be intimidated. What we're going to do in these cities, we'll double the manpower. We'll flood those neighborhoods with DEA, ATF,
not going to bully us.
We'll double the effort. right? And it will increase worksite enforcement operations in those communities. We're not going to play a game with these people. We made it clear we're concentrating on public safety threats, and no one should disagree with taking child sex predators off the streets. ICE just took 9 sexual predators off the street in Massachusetts because they won't honor detainers. ICE made those communities safer, and we're going to continue to make those communities safer.
We have some truly, truly evil people in this country. Y'all sleep next to them. Y'all follow them on TikTok. Y'all support them. Some of y'all got boxelitis because you think that they cute. These people are truly an enemy of the people. But you need strong people like Tom Homan, who's not going to back down, ICE agents who are not going to back down, that's still going to do their jobs regardless. And this is why one of the things that we say is we appreciate law enforcement. We have to. These people are putting their lives on the line every single day to make our community safer. And y'all still hating on them. Y'all still talking negative about them. These people are really going to bat, toe to toe in the streets, cold, hot, rain, snow, no matter what. They're out here hustling, working, and making your community safer. And y'all doxing them?
What do you make of these 2 cities in Massachusetts now that are suing because of the public officials that want the right to put the rights of illegals over the safety of citizens in their towns?
Look, the people who vote these people, they need to take under consideration what these people are doing. I'll say it again. We are prioritizing public safety threats. Child predators, rapists, murderers. These are the worst of the worst walking around your communities. And you would think any elected mayor, any elected governor, any elected city councilwoman would want public safety threats removed from their communities. Their number one responsibility of the taxpayers, the voters. They expect a safe community. So I hope people are waking up to these far left nuts who want to push back against ICE and what we're doing. We're making communities safer. We're keeping President Trump's promise to make communities safer and end illegal alien crime in this country.
You know, for the longest time during the campaign on this show, we would roll the names of people that were murdered, and a lot of names that people have not heard, people that were raped, other victims of violent crime.
Yeah, because it's not popular
to do. That list
to
gets
do
longer and longer and longer. And then I listen to, idiots like Michael Moore. Oh, we're deporting maybe the person that will cure cancer in the future. Okay, they can cure cancer in their country, and we'll pay them a lot of money for whatever they discover. That, to me, what part of murder, rape, violent crime, drug dealing are they not understanding? Known terrorists in this country, what part of that being dangerous to every American are they not comprehending?
Well, a couple of things. You want to talk about young adults, young children. Most of the young adults that came across that border during the Biden administration were between the age of 15 and 17. Many of them are gang members. We did an operation in New York City and arrested almost 500 gang members, Operation Matador. 48% of them came across the border claiming to be a child. So you don't know what you have. There are a lot of these so-called children are actually, dangerous gang members. And I wish Michael Moore would go talk to an angel mom and dad. Talk to a few of the angel moms and dads I've talked to over my career. I've talked to hundreds of them. American citizen parents who buried their children because their children was murdered and raped by an illegal alien.
Look at that woman. Look at that white woman right there. Look at that. Look at that. The average trailer park white woman right there. Now, I know it's a man, but he's definitely looking like he's transitioning. Michael Moore is absolutely garbage. And Michael Moore is an enemy of the United States of America, standing up for people that are not doing the right thing inside of this country. I know that it's a dude. I know who Michael Moore is. Michael Moore and all of his little documentaries and all of this other type of stuff. I know who Michael Moore is. To me, this looks like a suburban housewife. I know. Absolutely. This looks like a suburban housewife that is on Section 8 in Melvindale. Shout out to all of my Taylor ladies. Shout out to Melvindale. Shout out to Hazel Park here in Michigan. Shout out to all of y'all. Michael Moore very much could be one of you guys. Absolutely. Honey Boo Boo, all of that. Absolutely. 100%.
Talk to the parents of the young lady that was burned alive on a subway in New York City. Governor Hochul comes out and says she agrees criminal illegal aliens should be removed, but yet she wants to fire Mayor Adams for speaking with me about getting back into Rikers Island to arrest the bad guys who commit crimes in New York City. She wants a green light law where CBP and ICE officers can't even run a license plate number for New York State license plate. They don't know who they're pulling over. That's a dangerous situation. There's another nut that should be removed from office. It's disgusting, but they're not going to slow us down, Sean. We're coming. Yeah. We're coming across this country. We're going to arrest criminal aliens. You're not going to stop us.
I've never met anybody in my life, I've known you a long time, that it is when they get their focus and they're dialed in on a mission, they're committed to finishing it. Last question, are you making progress? I was asking DHS Secretary Noam about this. Are you making progress finding the people that are endangering ICE agents' lives by tipping off people of pending raids by ICE? Are you making progress finding those people?
Yes, made progress. We know who leaked the Aurora, Colorado operation. That is under investigation as we speak. And we're going to keep looking for any other leaks. I just came back from Colony Ridge, Texas. Great operation, arrested over 100 people, most of them criminals. Operation went great. No leaks. Operational security was the finest, so it's a great operation.
Yeah.
Everybody that is leaking information, I think that they should be arrested and they should be charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The minute that you start putting people's lives at risk, the minute that you, man, if you interfere with any kind of investigation, you interfere with a local investigation, they're going to have your neck, let alone a major investigation that is mandated from the President of the United States of America. They're going to use every resource to try to find you. And I'm not even going to tell people not to do it because I want to know who the ops are. I absolutely want to know who the ops are. How are you going to leak information for illegal migrants? Now, we've taken this no snitching thing too far, but they doing reverse no snitching. They doing reverse snitching in the federal government. So we say no snitching inside of our communities and our neighborhoods for the people that are doing the worst things to us. But then we are going to release information for police officers against people that's not even supposed to be here in the United States of America? That doesn't even make any sense to me, honestly. It doesn't even make any sense to me. I don't understand it. It's weird. Y'all some weirdos, bro. Honestly, you raging liberals, y'all some weirdos. Let me go to hot green, something else. Let me some purple. Let's go to purple blue. Y'all some weirdos. We got some straight up weirdos inside of the United States of America. Treasonous. Y'all need to be sent to China, where you can't say nothing, where all of your emails are censored, where if they find you doing something that you're not supposed to do on social media, they're going to find you and they're going to put you in an internment camp. Y'all need to go over to North Korea. Y'all need to go somewhere where they can teach you a lesson on how you're supposed to be loyal to the American people. It used to be where it didn't matter who won, they were still our president, and we could talk bad about them, but you can't talk bad about them if you're not from here. Just like family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go off on my family members. We can fight, squabble, do whatever it is that we gonna do. But wait. Who was you over there? Oh, no. You can't say nothing about my bro. That's how America used to be. It used to be to where, yo, listen, we gonna have our own internal struggles. We gonna have our problems. We gonna have our family meetings. We gonna disagree, whatever. Where you from? I'm sorry, where you from? And I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even gonna front. Like, you know, when you travel outside of the country If somebody, which has never happened to me because I've never gotten into a conversation that's extensive enough for people to point out individual politicians inside of the United States of America. But, you know, and I've been to Amsterdam during the Biden administration. I've been to Amsterdam, Bucharest, which is in Romania, Tokyo, obviously. Of course, you know, everybody's been to Mexico and everybody's been to the Dominican Republic and all of that other type of stuff, right? But I've been to several different places, about four or five different places outside of the country when Biden was in office in particular. And I don't know where I'm going to go this year. But you can't talk negative about my country, about anybody that's inside of my country. Now, I may keep my rhetoric, you know what I'm saying, a little bit tight because I know that I'm on foreign soil, and so I got to be a little careful, watch out, pay attention to what's going on. But I'm not agreeing with you, and you not from here. You can't talk nothing about what we got going on in here. You used to have a sense of pride. There used to be a sense of pride to be an American. I go online, I go on TikTok, I go on Instagram, I go on Facebook, I go on YouTube, I go on all of these different platforms, and I be seeing people like, for example, they'll say something like, Canadians are selling homes down in Florida and they're flooding the market. And then I'll go down into the comments because, you know, that's what we do. We flash straight to the comments to see what's going on. And people will be in the comments talking about, I stand with you. I'm an American from Florida and I stand with Canadians. What? I'll see a story on MSNBC about some Venezuelan that's mad that they're getting deported. I stand with Venezuelans and I'm American. As an American, I stand with you guys. What? Honestly, people do that junk all the time. They regularly are treasonous against their own. I stand with Canadians. Listen, y'all cool. Y'all cool and all, and we like y'all. I love it when Toronto come over to play. Windsor is right across the street. We're going to probably go and visit Canada sometime this summer or whatever. But I don't like you enough to actually stand against my own country. Whatever. Anyways, make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, plus 20% off of life. Pookie's friend Ray says they got 22-year-olds coming across the border claiming to be 16, and they're scared scoring 6 goals a game for the high school soccer team. They kicking butt. Isn't Michael Moore Canadian? I think so. I don't know. I think he's from Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up. Michael Moore is born in Flint, Michigan. I knew he was from Michigan. Nope. Michael Moore is born in Flint, Michigan. That is where he's from. Jay Hunter Lee. He's from Flint. David Deacon Little says, what a cowardly thing revealing agents who are doing their job. Yet Ilium and AOC get a platform for their talking points. Someone make it make sense. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. Let's continue on with the show. Okay. So Ukraine, a deal is closer than ever. Hopefully we're announcing that a deal and a ceasefire and then ultimately an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine is over within the next couple of weeks or the next month or so. Hopefully. But in the meantime, to help get that deal done, one of the things that Trump has said over the last couple of weeks is, hey, listen, we've given hundreds of billions of dollars over to Ukraine in this proxy war that Biden administration actually leveraged against Russia, and we want our money back. We want to get paid back. Not only are we going to fix this, but we want our money back. Our number one goal is to get our money back. Our number two goal is to end this war. The one thing about Trump is he said, listen, we want all our reparations. We want everything back. Everything that we gave you, it wasn't free. I don't know what they told you, but it's a new regime in town, and we got to get the minerals. We got to get everything that's under the ground. Now, Ukraine Zelensky signed a mineral deal. He's alleged to have signed a mineral deal which actually promotes a ceasefire and is leading us in the direction of getting this war done and over with. Let me go ahead and give you an update on what's going on in these streets. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Let's talk about it.
Well, this is news. Ukrainian President Zelensky is expected to meet with our president, President Donald Trump, on Friday after he reportedly has agreed to terms of a major mineral deal with the United States.
Meanwhile, I had the chance to sit down for an exclusive sit down with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Yes, we did walk. And here's what he told me about all this. Mr. Secretary, first off, congratulations. 99 votes. I guess everyone is behind you. How does it feel 30 plus days in?
Busy. We've been busy. We've been a lot of work. We're doing the work of diplomacy in the State Department. A lot of, this President Trump is not a patient man. He moves very quickly. He's been given a mandate. And he hit the ground running from day one.
One thing he said he wanted to do is address the Ukraine-Russia war quickly. It looks like the mineral deal has been done. Can you confirm that?
Well, I can't confirm it. Obviously, our Secretary of Treasury, Bessent, is working on that, has done a great job of putting that together. So my last indication was that it was very close to the finish line. We were on not even the 1 yard line. We were like at the half-yard line, almost like when the Eagles push the quarterback across, that tush-push thing. So it's close and it's good. Look, it's a good deal. It's an important deal. We still want to end this war. I mean, that's the important thing the president's made very clear. He campaigned on that.
President Zelensky and the president clashed last week. There's no doubt about it. This week is going to be different. It looks like that President Zelensky is going to be here in Washington this week. How much friction is between President Zelensky and President Trump?
I don't, there's a lot of stuff in the media about it, but in the end of the day, the president's objective is clear. He wants the war to stop. And to do that, you have to have both sides agree to it, right? Now, we talked to Zelensky. I think what the president was irritated by, and rightfully so, was this argument that somehow we haven't talked to Ukraine. After President Trump spoke to Putin, which he hadn't spoken to in 4 years, he picked up the phone. I was there for both calls. He immediately called Zelensky right away. And then Zelensky met with our Treasury Secretary. And then he met with me and the Vice President. And then he met with Kellogg. And then, so he has had engagements, constant engagements. I've talked to the Foreign Minister of Ukraine twice in the last 6 days. So to say that we're not engaged with him is just not accurate.
What makes
you know what's so interesting is that Kamala Harris and the Biden administration admitted to never, ever talking to Russia and Putin at all about a possible ceasefire. And the war raged on for 3 years. 3 years. We had become so insensitive to it. I remember when it first broke out that Russia was invading Ukraine and all of this other stuff, and it was really, really huge news. We became so insensitive to it to where we didn't even really think about the money that we were sending to them anymore. The Democrats were holding it over the Republicans' heads. They were saying that they were closing off our borders and enforcing immigration laws that were on the books, preventing fentanyl from coming over into the United States of America. All of it was tied to giving money to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. That is one of the reasons why the border deal got killed, which obviously Trump is proving that you don't need a border deal to enforce the laws that are already on the books. We have agencies that are dedicated to making sure that we control illegal immigration into this country. And Democrats were tying that border deal to funding and continuing to fund Ukraine. And then we were asking, and remember, we was all talking about it. I was covering it. I have been covering this immigration whole thing since 2021 right here on this show, the Millionaire Morning Show, right? And we were all confused because we were like, why are they so dedicated? Why are they so gung-ho? Why do they want to continue to send this money over? Why would they admit to never even speaking to Putin and Russia if they really want this war to stop? What is going on? What is happening? Well, we can all safely assume that it all came from the idea that they did not want the war to stop at all. Why would they want the war to stop when everybody is getting rich as a warmongerer? Who doesn't want world peace? Drug dealers don't want a war. Dope boys don't want, you know why? Because it gets the police involved. It brings more visibility to the corners and to the dope spots. It starts to bring a whole lot of high-profile visibility over into the trap house and all of that, and they don't need that type of heat. They trying to figure out, they got enough problems as it is trying to make sure that they, you know what I'm saying, that somebody ain't running off on a plug. They got enough problems as it is trying to get the drugs over into the country in the first place. They got enough problems as it is trying to make sure that they keep the prices low, and so they don't have to step on a product too much in order to distribute to the people so they ain't going over to the competitors. They got enough problems. They don't want war. That is a last resort. And any movie and look at any movie, look at any documentary, the last thing they want is the police to get involved because now you messing up the money and now we got to spend money and it costs money to go to war. Pac told you that. Pac told you that. Everybody can tell you, listen, war will never be profitable except for the people that continue to distribute the money. And we would all ask ourselves, why don't they want to stop the war? Why do they continue to perpetuate this? Why are they sitting over there attack them? Why are they over there sending so much money? Why they want this to happen?
Do you believe that the Russians sincerely want to have this war to end?
I don't know. I don't know the answer
What
to
do
that.
you think?
Well, I think we're going to test it. We told them, do you guys want to end the war or do you want to continue? If you want to end the war, we can talk about what it would take to end it from their perspective. If you want to continue on the war, just tell us now. And they agreed to a follow-up where we're going to send, teams of diplomats to meet with theirs to sort of talk about what it would take to end the war. If what they insist on is unrealistic, then we know they're not real about it. But we have to test that proposition. We need to know, and the president wants to know early in his presidency, are the Russians interested in ending this war or are they not?
Germany had a big election. President Trump congratulated the new presumed leader, although it's going to take months for them to form a government. His name is Friedrich Merz. And he said this: I would never have thought I would be saying this on TV, but after Donald Trump's remark last week, it is clear that the government does not care much about the fate of Europe. My absolute priority will be to strengthen Europe as quickly as possible so that step by step we can really achieve independence from the U.S. He says NATO in its current form is in jeopardy, and it's time for the European nations may have to establish an independent European defense capability. Your reaction?
My reaction is NATO is not in jeopardy. The only thing that puts NATO in jeopardy is the fact that we have NATO allies who barely have militaries or whose militaries are not very capable because they've spent 40 years not spending any money on it. We've been NATO. And all President Trump has argued is what every American president has argued for the last 30 years, and that is these are rich countries, especially in Western Europe. They have plenty of money. They should be investing that in their national security, and they're not. You have countries spending 1.5%, 1% of their economy, and we just can't keep subsidizing that. It's not fair, and it's not sustainable.
He thinks that the U.S.
He's very clear. The reason why the United States of America is pulling out of NATO is because we are NATO, and we are the ones that are funding 80% of it, 80 to 85% of it. We putting all of the money up, and so they're basically saying, okay, so listen, and this is a basic lesson. United States of America, we able to finesse them. We put a chick in front of them, but had her bust them down and all of that, let them run a train on her. And so now they've agreed to give us all of the money, and we just going to list them in our phone as food. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to spend all of our money. We're not going to have to worry about protection. We don't want to spend no money on protection. We want to make sure that we spend all of our dollars on making more money. So they spend their money on increasing their economy, making sure they recruit businesses, tourism, everything that makes them richer while we continue to invest in our military so that we can then protect all of them for the sake of saying that we got a deal. I don't want no friends where the business is so one-sided to where I'm the person that's suffering on the other end. That's not a friendship. You using me. You're using me. We not partners. How is this a partnership if I'm putting in 85% of the money and I'm not getting none of the return? We got to go our separate ways. Or we need to renegotiate this differently because you need to pay your fair share. We not paying all of your bills and we not getting no box.
wants out of Europe, do your own thing. Is he misreading Donald Trump?
No, we're not saying do your own thing. We're saying do more. It's their continent, right? Why should we not be? Why is it unreasonable for the United States to ask rich European countries to invest more money in their own national security?
What a start you've had.
30-plus days, you've been to Panama, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Germany, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. In the beginning, you got 6 nations there, Central and South America. There's a message, and it seems to have been our border matters. Let's establish some relationship because we got to get control of our southern border and you got to control of yours. What did you walk away with? What was your message?
Well, we walked away from the following. All those countries you mentioned in Central America are all migratory routes. That is the route that people take to get to the southern border. So our border, in many cases, when it comes to mass migration, begins there. So we want countries to cooperate in stopping it. In addition, a number of these countries, I add Honduras now to the list, a number of these countries have now agreed not just to take back repatriation flights of their own nationals, but to take third country, meaning people from other countries who basically enter the United States illegally. We can send them to those countries, and they have a choice. They can go back to their home country or they can go to these countries. These are powerful tools, and that's why you're now seeing historically low numbers under President Trump.
Do you think
historically
it has a lot
low
to do
numbers
with
at the border?
your visits?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with President Trump. It has to do with the fact that people that were coming here realized that this isn't Joe Biden. Under President Trump, you're not just going to be able to come in, claim asylum, and stay forever. And so we are literally, in some of these countries, I had a call yesterday, one of these countries, they now have people doing U-turns, right? They were on their way here, they realized, okay, they're not playing around anymore. President Trump is serious, and they've done a U-turn. They're trying to go back to their country. Right. We're seeing that happen. And that is as a result of President Trump's very clear leadership on migration.
Have we allowed, over decades, China to make their way into Central and South America? And is Panama an example of that?
Yes.
We've just not put enough attention in our own backyard.
Well,
is that what you heard when you went there?
It is. I mean, a couple things. They're corruption, right? The previous president, 2 presidents ago, those people are all wrapped up in a web of corruption. In fact, he's standing trial in Panama now for that. So they bought their way like they've done in many parts. And you wake up one day and realize they control both of the ports of entry to the Panama Canal. They control the cranes. They have a huge presence there. And I'm very happy that after our visit, I think the same day I was there, Panama became the first country in Latin America, in the Western Hemisphere, to get out of the Belt and Road Initiative. And I think there'll be more news coming up soon with regards to Panama, all positive for America.
You've called China the...
You know why I like this administration? You know why I like Marco Rubio? You know why I like everything that's happening with the Trump administration is because they're just straightforward. Everything used to be so secretive. Everything used to be, well, we don't know. We'll see what happens. And it always was an ulterior motive. And I think that that's because it was things that was happening behind the scenes that obviously the American people wasn't privy to. And we weren't blessed enough to have this level of transparency. The one thing that you can't say about the Trump administration is that they are not very straightforward and matter of fact on what their objective is, what they're looking to do, and how they're looking to do it. Hey, listen, man, on the low, we really want you to change your name to the United States of America 51st state. On the low, you know what? We've been giving y'all a lot of money. I know that y'all is acting like y'all was tough over there, but in reality, we gonna change the name over there to the Gulf of America. On the low, listen, fam, I know you want to continue this war, and I don't know who getting rich over there on your side and on your family, but not only do we need to end this war because that's what we promised the American people, we also need to get some mineral rights to your land. We got to get all of that money back with interest. With interest. You know how they came over here and they bought Chicago streets? Some of y'all still ain't familiar with that. Y'all new to the channel. You know how they came over here and Chicago streets has basically been bought out for the next 50 years and they're going to be making money off of Chicago streets. They gave $1 billion in order to buy all of the streets in Chicago. And now if Chicago even have a parade, God forbid that y'all win a championship of some form, which we know that none of y'all are even close to it. If Chicago even have a parade, they fining y'all. An outside entity actually owns y'all streets. We just want the same. We just want to, listen, we want minimal rights. We want whatever you got under the ground, we coming to get our money back. Okay, you ain't got it in cash, we gonna take it in gas. No cash, we coming to get it with gas. Oh, you thought that war was free? Oh, you thought that Biden was gonna win again? That y'all was just gonna have a perpetual war for the rest of our lives? Nah, fam, we coming to get that. I want everything with interest. I want everything with interest. Chicago don't even own its own streets. They can't even leverage their own streets to help their own taxpayers. When you go, hey, next time y'all go to the Miracle Mile, next time y'all go over to Chicago, next time that y'all go over there and y'all trying to dodge the YNs over there, let me tell you something. When you park on that street, you paying an outside entity. You paying somebody over there in the UAE or Dubai. When you pay them parking meters in Chicago, you are paying an outside entity that don't even have no vested interest except for to extract all of your dollars. Tax on you because they sold their streets. Ain't that crazy? If you get a ticket in Chicago, you paying somebody else. Crazy. Absolutely insane. And America is a business. It's always been a business. It always will be a business. We just haven't been running it like a business. We got other things that we need to tackle. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. We're going to educate you. We're going to put the medicine inside of the candy and we're going to educate you. Shout out to all of the more than 4,000 people that's on here on YouTube. We appreciate y'all for continuing to hold us down. Kid Chameleon says, I wonder how many officials blocking ICE arrests of child sex criminals are on the Epstein list. We don't know. Forsaken Archive says Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club and the comment section was praising her. She a black woman. She got butterfly eyelashes. What'd you think? 3-Man Podcast says Anton Passport Bros. We still up. Shout out to DR. Yeah, y'all on y'all own on that one. I'm good on that. Aaron L says, oh, you know what? You know what's so interesting about Passport Bros? I wouldn't even want to admit that I'm out here tricking on box. Like, that's just a me thing. And listen, if you want to go out there and you want to pay for HIV, I'm sorry. If you want to go out there and you want to trick off on these chicks and these lady boys and all of this other stuff, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. And shout out to the people that don't even have their own thoughts. Shout out to the people that can't think for themselves and they're easily influenced about what somebody else is telling them. I would not openly admit, hey man, I spent some money in order to get some box from somebody that never seen me before in life, and they took it back to their village to feed their husband with. I would never, bro. The Dark Knight couldn't get that information out of me. The Joker couldn't get that information out of me. Kamala Harris back in 1993 couldn't get that information out of me. Nobody, under no circumstances, can get that, would be able to get that information. Hey, man, I'm over here. Oh, look at this baddie over here. Look at that. Man, if you don't get that camera up out of there, nobody in the world would be able to get that information out of me. Nobody. No. Superman, Thanos, name one. Nobody. You'd have to have six Infinity Stones to be able to turn back time, and then you couldn't get that information out of me under no circumstances. Under no circumstances would I ever admit to ever exchanging money for box. That's crazy to me. I wouldn't even tell people where I was going. Hey, man, where you going? Oh, man, we about to take a European trip. You just taking a Spirit flight over there to Sasua? You just taking a Spirit flight over there to Sasua? You going where you going to go? Hey, man, you just don't, word of advice. Everything y'all don't need to openly, I don't know. It's a different time. Listen, I'm old school. I understand I'm from a different era. Some things need to be left unsaid, in my opinion. But we living in a different time. We living in a whole nother world where people is just cool. They cool with just casually saying, yeah, man, I was over in Thailand. And we know that 60, 70% of everybody over there in Thailand is dealing with boys. We know they only got one hole down there, boy. Tearing that little boy up, ain't you? Tearing that little 23-year-old boy out the frame, ain't you? You a crazy dude. You a madman out there. You a madman in Thailand, tearing that 20-something-year-old boy out the frame, getting your thing off, ain't you? Hey, man, yeah, man, Thailand is where it's at. What? What you doing? You went to where? Man, they got some bad ones over in Thailand. Boy, you better... What you doing? What you doing over there? No, dog, don't don't go to that part of the street. That's what they be saying. Yo, y'all honestly need to see some of these videos that these people be sending me, man. They be tearing them little young boys out the frame. Dog, what you doing to that little boy over there with them long hair? Oh, Jesus. Real talk, man. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Crazy. No, don't talk about me. I ain't never been to Thailand. I don't go to Thailand. That's you. Yeah, dog, we about to, dog. They done flooded Sasua. We got to head over to Thailand before we get too flooded. What you doing over in Thailand? Crazy. Crazy. Anyways, make sure that y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Aaron L. says, although Biden pardoned most of his cabinet, does a pardon prevent an investigation? Can't arrest them, but let's expose them. I'm cool with that. Your thoughts on 21 Doja workers resigning? Send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me. Y'all are, I only get so much information at one time. Send it to me. Email me. Yo, moderators, put it in the chat. Sad and the mayor that sold our streets was also a Democrat. Everybody that's been in office in Chicago is a Democrat. It's about the choices you make in silence of your own company. Facts. Shout out to my dog Q Diddy. Cooking last night. In love in this club. America has had boxelitis for a long time. No more tricking on the sidewalkers, said Chef 673. Dre with the K says, not them paying for some bussy. Yes, they are. You ain't ish. You know what y'all got to be careful of? Let me tell y'all what y'all got to be careful of when y'all go over into these foreign locations. There are people that make a living on YouTube recording y'all. There are people that make a living on YouTube recording y'all in these countries. They secretly record y'all. So it'd be people like, yeah, man, look at all of these guys walking over here. They got their camera or they got their hidden cameras and all of that stuff. And they record y'all and they be putting y'all on blast. So when y'all walking around or you doing stuff that you're not supposed to do, I mean, if you just a free single guy or whatever, then, hey, listen, you do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I don't care what you want. I don't care if you want whatever. Is you know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't doing nothing illegal, then I'm cool with it. But there are people, they make a living by making videos, recording y'all in places that y'all not supposed to be at. So just remember, technology is advancing. Cameras are everywhere. And if you see your man in a place that he not supposed to be, don't blame the camera recorder. Blame the person that got caught doing it, all right? Anyways, they do, man. They really do. They record y'all. So if you ain't never did nothing, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. And you could just keep living your life free. Freedom is a blessing. Anyways, I want to get over into this last part of the show. Byron. I had an opportunity to meet Byron Daniels during the weekend of the inauguration. So I was down in D.C. I seen a lot of y'all over in D.C. At a couple different events, and I was able to meet Byron Daniels. And I didn't have an opportunity to like deep dive with him or anything like that, but I was able to shake his hand, have a few words with him. We spoke for a little bit and we kept it moving. And he seemed like a really, really, really cool guy. I am a fan of Byron Daniels and his ability to really communicate effectively exactly what's going on what's going on in our legislative branches to the American people. I loved how he shut down the Breakfast Club and set them in a place about police immunity. I think that he's great over in the state of Florida. And he's been doing his thing. He's absolutely been doing his thing. I know it's a lot of you guys that think that Byron Donalds will be a phenomenal pick to be president, one of the next presidents of the United States of America and or a vice president. But I think that Byron Donalds is also. Byron Donalds, in the same vein as Vivek Ramaswamy, has announced that he is going to run to be governor of Florida. Let's learn more about it. I have not seen this video yet, but it was sent to me in my email, and so I thought it would be an opportunity for us to evaluate it, and let's go from there. Let's get to it.
All right, late last week, President Trump endorsed Congressman Byron Donalds for governor of my free state of Florida, but now Donalds has yet to announce his candidacy, but he is already receiving a lot of support. However, it does look like an early fight could be emerging. Reports in Florida suggesting that Casey DeSantis, Ron DeSantis' wife, is considering a run as well. Here with more, Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, great to have you. How are you?
It's good to be with you, Sean. Thanks for having me on.
All right. If you want to make any announcements to make, is it truth? I mean, you got the support of President Trump. Where do you stand? Are you ready to make the plunge?
Well, look, Sean, after a lot of prayer, a lot of thoughts with my family and my friends, I'm here to announce my candidacy to be the next governor of the great state of Florida.
We need young, smart, wise, communicative people that are aligned and that actually want to do the best things for the American people. And I'm going to get back to Byron Donalds shortly, but we need young people, not the same old. And that's no shot at Ron DeSantis, because I think that Ron DeSantis is a phenomenal governor of Florida. Personally, I believe that Governor Wheelchair, Meals on Wheels, Professor X, over there in Texas, and don't get offended when I say that, because it's a joke. We all joke on everything, but I believe that the governor of Texas has been for the last 4 years, at least the best governor in the United States of America. There has not been a better governor than Governor Meals on Wheels, Professor X, over there in Florida. But Ron DeSantis has been great. He has been awesome. I think that Ron DeSantis has been a phenomenal governor over there in Florida. So this is no shot to him. But if you're passing the baton, if you're passing the torch, it has to go to somebody like a Byron Donalds. We love Byron Donalds over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, and I think that this guy is excellent. If you guys in Florida don't get this guy in office, it would be a disgrace.
And Sean, we have a wonderful state. I got to Florida when I was 17 years old off of a Greyhound bus with just a trunk full of clothes. And over the rest of my time in Florida, I built a family. I built a career, 17 years in financial services. I joined the Tea Party movement, was in the conservative movement. I was able to serve 4 years in the state legislature, 4 years in Congress. And I think now is the time to now take the mantle and lead our state into the future. We have a great governor. Ron DeSantis has done a tremendous job for our state. But now the job is to keep the best state in the country as the best state in the country. And so that's going to be the mission at hand. And I'm excited to announce my candidacy with you tonight.
We appreciate the announcement. What do you make of the reports that the governor's wife is considering a run? She's a very well-liked first lady.
We have to normalize not putting our wives. Listen, we don't need no. And again, I love Ron DeSantis. I think that he's awesome. Let's not do the Hillary Clinton thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do the Hillary Clinton thing. We not doing that no more. Honestly, let's normalize wives playing a supportive role, and for men and husbands to take up the mantle of leading and handing over the baton to somebody that we know is familiar with and that we can lean on to continue to run the states and our legislative branches and all of these governors and these seats and the president of the United States of America. Let's normalize not nominating the Michelle Obamas, the Hillary Clintons. Well, let's normalize that. We good. We good. We think that you did a phenomenal job, Ron. You're still doing a great job. You did a really, really great job in Florida specifically. But let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. I'm not for, governors and saying, hey, but my wife wanted to turn too. Now we good on that, fam.
Well, I mean, honestly, right now, it's very early. I'm the only person in this race right now, so we'll see what happens. But I will tell you, Sean, I'm excited to have the full endorsement of President Trump. He has a lot of faith in me. And to the people of Florida, I would tell you that for a long time, I've been in the trenches in a lot of these battles dealing with conservatism. A bill I passed when I was a freshman in the state legislature, Sean, allowed parents to examine the materials in front of their children. Then Governor Rick Scott signed that bill into law. So I have a long history in the conservative movement, and I have one of the strongest conservative records, both in the State House and up here in Congress, that proves that I will not let you down, that all of the victories and the successes that Florida has been able to accomplish, we're only going to take that and build upon it. We're going to continue to be the freest state and the best state going forward.
I like that.
What would you like to build on? What would your agenda be? Obviously, I have a vested interest in this, living in the state that I love, that you've lived in since you were 17, as you said. And I've had property down here for almost 3 decades, for crying out loud. And it's, for me,
if
home.
Byron Donalds wins Florida, I'll buy a property down there. I'll buy a vacation home down there. If Byron Donalds, if you guys vote Byron Donalds in to be governor of Florida, I'll feel safe enough to be able to buy a property, because I know that all of the Canadians are selling their property down there. Properties is collapsing, the prices is collapsing and all of that. I'll take advantage of the Florida real estate market. I'll buy a property down there. I'm not moving down there permanently, but I'll buy some down there.
And obviously, I have a vested interest in the state doing well. Big shoes to fill. I think Governor DeSantis has done a great job for the state. And, what are the issues you see that you would want to maybe take to another level?
Well, Sean, I agree with you. Governor DeSantis has done a tremendous job. So a couple of things. First, we have an insurance problem in our state. My career in banking, insurance, and in financial services, I want to make sure that we solve this problem for the people of Florida. And it's going to mean bringing every stakeholder to the table, because the people of Florida is what's going to matter. We got to solve it. We got to stabilize those costs. I want to turn Florida into the financial hub of the world. Digital Assets has made a home in South Florida. I want to make sure that we become the most business-friendly state in our country, for businesses to incorporate in our state, but then also for the state to take the lead on cryptocurrency and digital assets. I would even consider having crypto be a part of the state's financial portfolio. We're going to build on the work that Governor DeSantis did when it comes to our environment, making sure that we finish the job on restoring the Everglades waterways, having clean water for all of our constituencies and for our environment. And last but not least, education, Sean. We've been doing a great job in our state, but my focus would be on making sure that every child has the tools available to them to be proficient in math, in reading, in writing, and in reasoning. Those are the things that are going to take our state from being great to being even greater.
Who doesn't want this? Who can compete against Byron Donalds over there in Florida? Honestly, I can't. I don't even know why anybody would want to run against him. This dude is, he it.
Can you, I hate to lose one seat. We're very close in the House in terms of margins. Can you remain a congressman and run at the same time? We only have about
Yes, sir. Sean, I'm not going anywhere. We really did a really good job passing the resolution tonight. I'm here to make sure we get the president's agenda done. So rest assured, I'm staying in place. We're going to make sure we continue to fix Washington and make America great again.
Shout out to Byron Donalds. I think that he would be a great Florida governor. Let me give him a round of applause again. Yes. Thank you, Javier. Y'all keep telling me that the J is silent and everything. I think that Byron Donalds would be awesome. I think that Vivek would be awesome over in Hawaii, and Byron would be great over in Florida. I think that you guys are in great hands, and he's done a phenomenal job actually being a great contributor to the Trump campaign and being aligned with whatever it is that we need to do to fix America. He's been a phenomenal spokesperson. He's played his role, and now he has the endorsement of President Trump. I think that Byron Donalds is going to do a great job over there in Florida. Shout out to him, and shout out to everybody over there, Ron DeSantis and all of the Republican governors that's been taking care of the United States of America. Shout out to Eric Wealth Harris, says, Ms. Rita praying for Byron to win. Now, I didn't say that I would move down there. I am always going to be Detroit to my core, through and through. I am a Detroiter through and through. I will always have all of my businesses, all of my studios and everything right here inside of Detroit City. Yeah, this is my city. This is my city. Michigan is my state. I love it here. I will always contribute to the economy and to the people, and I will spend the majority of my time here. But if Byron wins, we may see a business opportunity down there. Actually, it wouldn't even be a business opportunity. I don't think that you buy property in Florida to profit from it at this point. I think that Florida real estate market is one of the biggest topsy-turvy, most turmoil-ridden real estate markets ever. However, it would just be a celebration property. You know, you get to that point in your life where you can start spending money on toys. Stuff is not always about money itself, but it's just about enjoying it or having it or whatever. That's kind of what it would be. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, yeah, it could be a winter home for the time that I'm flying back and forth, Pravin. Absolutely. Anyways, listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. As a matter of fact, I have a flight that I have to catch this afternoon, evening, because I will be in Miami for the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. So when y'all don't see me in the studio, when you're going to see me in Miami, because I got business to take care of down there, that's what it is. All right? All right? Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the greatest audience on earth. Thank you supporting. Thank you for supporting. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Let's get up out of here. Peace.